Hello. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever on the wall. This is not VOS. Mohammed Shyllon coming to you from the VOS network. Today is Sunday, May 4th, 2025. And I will be presenting the show alone. My co-host, Mr. Mengot, has some conflicting obligations, so he's not going to be here. And so will Mr. Jamboria, who occasionally comes on board to join with for make presentations. And so these two are not going to be here, but I'll be here alone. And we're going to try to make it as enjoyable as possible, because our intentions are always twofold. Make the whole show interactive and enjoyable, and then try to be as objective as we possibly can, while at the same time make the show educative. That at the end of the show, hopefully, not only will we have been more tolerant of each other, but we also will learn something from each other. So that's, to me, is always the purpose. It's not the purpose. The show is not being presented, or this particular show is not being presented to be oppositional to any party or government, but to just speak the plain truth and make suggestions with respect to what we think will lead the country forward. We get we own political. I have my own political philosophy, but I in no way allow that for cloud me objectivity. I strive to make sure that I say it like it is, with circumspection or some kind of reasoning, not just recklessly. Okay, so people are free to call and to make suggestions, contributions. You're quite welcome. And the rule is we agree to disagree. Now, like I said, today is May 4th. Let me go directly to the various means by which you can able reach me for participate on this show. So let's go to the VOS network numbers. In North America, we include United States, Canada, and Mexico. We get a toll-free number when at 1-866-944-7722. 1-866-944-7722. You can call us or call we free of charge without any cost to you. And you can hold the line or stay on the line without any cost. From UK, if you're calling from UK, we have +44 2080891455. From the United Kingdom, it's +44 2080891455. If you're calling from Australia, likewise, these are free calling numbers. They won't cost you anything. If you're calling from Australia, you can call from +61 290984 +61, calling from Australia, 290984 Now, we also have the universal number, which is free regardless of who side you call from. So if you call the WhatsApp number, which is +1 343 997 5828. 1-343 997 5828. You can call that number. I think it's universally used, meaning you can call from any spot in the world. You will be able to reach me. In addition to that, we'll get a VOS radio network on a 91.9 FM. 91.9 FM. And the 91.9 FM, you may have to download the VOS television mobile phone app to be able to get that 91.9 FM. Because if you're in the United States, and if you are maybe in Canada, or in North America generally, there may be a few 91.9 FMs them that the United States, depending on the state where it is. So you might end up getting that station if you're calling from here. So download the VOS mobile app to be able to get the radio station 91.9. In addition to that, you can go download the VOS television mobile app or go to the Google Play Store or the Apple Play Store to be able to download the app. The Google Play Store or the mobile app store to be able to download the VOS television app. All right. In addition to that, we get the YouTube. We are covered or we are carried by other medium them. Then YouTube, VOS television on YouTube. If you go on YouTube, you put in VOS television, you will get a variety of VOS programs then. You go on Facebook, same likewise, VOS television, you will get a variety of VOS programs. If you go on X, that used to be formerly called Twitter, you go on X, you will get again VOS television. You put in VOS television, you will get with programs then. Then if you go on the website, if you want to watch through the internet, VOS TV website, you can go on www.vostelevision.com. vostelevision.com will get you on the programming for the internet. Will lead you to, if you want to watch it on your screen or on your tablet, and so on. You can also go on the VOS Radio Network website. I'm sorry, not network. VOS Radio website. What would be vosradio.com. vosradio.com. Again, we recommend that you go to the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store for download the apps. Last but not least, we'll get what you call Twitch, TWITCH, TV. Just go on VOS television. So with all them various outlets here, you should be able to catch we if you want for, what would they say, if you want to participate. Okay, so, and we greatly encourage you for do so and give way a call. And say this is an interactive program. It's being carried live as I speak to you, wherever you are listening to it. It also can be recorded. You can find it subsequently on YouTube, on Facebook. But it's live, so you can call in live. Their numbers and they want us to give you a look on the screen. Call, send in a written comment, or put in a phone call. We have a rule about the phone calls. You will only allow you to present your contribution, objection, participation, whatever it may be, for 3 minutes. And the 3-minute rule, we encourage you greatly for stick with them, for enable other people away the call, for enough for them on the line too long. And one of the way you will appreciate this encouragement, if you happen to be number 5 or beyond, now the waiting line or now the queue, and everybody they talk for 3 minutes and 4 people ahead of you, you will have to wait for 12 minutes on the line before you, the number 5 person, come on board. And 12 minutes waiting on the line is a long time. So imagine if we allow you to go beyond 3 minutes, you may end up waiting 20 minutes, which I think very few people, if any, will have the patience for do. So we strongly recommend If you run out of time, or when you run out of time, the buzzer will come on. When the buzzer come on, I for alert you say you don't exceed or you don't reach your time. So please adhere or listen to that buzzer day. Try for wrap up what you get for say in a matter of seconds. And if you get more for say, we strongly encourage you for call back. So that will just put you at the back of the line. Okay? So we strongly encourage, and you people have been very good about that. So I don't think it's a problem. All right? So for today's topic, basically, last but not least, please, sorry, excuse me. We do have a non-profit organization called VOS Diaspora Helping Hand. It's to, now for help picking them with the school, where they go school in Sierra Leone. We get the aptitude, in other words, they get the encouragement, they get the desire, they get the persistence, but they not get the financial wherewithal for continue their education, and the parents not get them. So we try for raise money for them picking in there, where then we go to school because we don't know who's the next. It can be among the kind of people that will get one of the world's renowned discoverer or inventor of some major thing what mankind need, let alone become an educated person. So since we don't know, we're all the try for pitching. No amount is too small and no amount is too large. So if you can contact with a VOS diaspora.org, VOSD like in David, IASPORA.org. Please, and see any contribution you can make and encourage others who may not be listening to our show or who may not have ever heard of us. But for this particular purpose, try to encourage them to see if they can throw in a penny here and there. All right? So with that, let me also let the listeners know, for say when the show begins, the lines are open. The calling lines are open. So you can call at any time. You don't have to wait from time to time. I may remind you now for say the lines are open if you get any questions. And if you're in a post where you don't want, and you go identify yourself, we can actually identify yourself, but you don't have to. You can give yourself an alias or a fake name. That's fine, and but we'll greatly appreciate if you can make we know you a little more. So we'll go refer or reference you from time to time as someone who called in and make some valuable contribution. So just because of all of those things, we'll greatly appreciate if when I would just follow some of the rules then, or to try for make things smoother, easier, much more efficient. Now, today's topic will involve, in general, we'll get what we call the Sierra Leone media erupts over certain things like ministerial fraud. We involve a city minister right now. We present some fake divorce decree or judgment, say in divorcing wealth, but it turned out to be a forged document from top to bottom. And this now the highly usually controversial minister would have served in both the Nkrumah government and now the BO government, and has served in various capacity as ministers. And as minister, it had several ministries, and now he's in a minister of works. But once upon a time, he was minister of housing or lands. So it appears as if he is somewhat indispensable because they seem to want him, two governments and various ministries. But of late, he's been accused of having presented a false document. I always say he get from the court. We would like to touch on that as to the implication of that and why this is not to be tolerated and why we think no action has been taken against them. Then we also talk about, we would like to touch on the opposition leader, Samura Kamara, invite or invitation by the CID. You know, I've always had my opinion about the CID. I think the CID, the invitation, is definitely undemocratic. It's inconsistent with any democratic principle. That's at the police actually playing active role in politics, which it should. So I'm not blaming the police. I'm blaming the various governments they would get. We can not seem for be able to do without involving the police in politics. Instead of keeping them out, we're still dragging them into the system, and it kills the system instead of encouraging or improving the system. This thing about police inviting people, as well as meddling in politics, I mean, it can show power, but it's not good for the country, because the democracy of Sierra Leone will never strive or thrive at all, succeed, as long as we keep playing these games we know say not good for the country. But it serves the convenience of the party in power. No question about it. So, but any party in power seem for no say, or the government in power, let me just say party, the government in power. But now government not go say, they don't say when you get the police for engulf themselves into politics, for take matters into their hands, whether for they deal with crimes or criminality, we get them into dragging people who speak or say something unfavorable to government officials to be dragged down and be accountable for their remarks, which is a contradiction and violation of the people and freedom of expression. So just speaking as a lawyer, I think it is disappointing, to say the least. You know? So, and then I would like to touch on, if time permits, the unfortunate remark that I saw, but I'd say unfortunate only in the sense that maybe the spokesperson for the government, Mr. Mark Sandy, who mentioned certain names and presumed these names are unique to certain tribes. I think we need a little sociology lesson. Now, yeah. So Mr. Mark Sandy will not make that mistake again. Because I think that was a big mistake on his part. And then we've once touched on the issue of a town called Yenga, a town within the boundary between Sierra Leone and Guinea. The gentleman's name is Mike Yenga. Mike Brewer, the person I say make the unfortunate remark. And he's spelling Mike, which is a very fancy way of spelling Mike. People are doing a whole lot of that lately, and I think nothing wrong with that. He's spelling Mike, M-Y-K-E. Why not? It's not written on stone that Mike should be M-I-K-E. You know? So I like the creativity of the spelling, M-Y-K or M-Y-K-E, whatever way you spell them. In school, I was taught when it comes to names, in my English class, that there's no particular way of spelling a name of a person. Like John, we get traditional way. You will say J-O-H-N. That's what most John, but you're not wrong if you say J-O-N. You know? Some people spell their John J-O-N. You know? It's like the name Yvonne. Some people spell it I-V-O-N-N-E. Some people spell it Y, with a Y. They start off with a Y. You know? So Mr. Mike Brewer, I think will comment on your own comment we make. Okay? So having said that, I want to start off first and foremost, and please, I strongly encourage anyone will listen, will get any objection, contribution, or a different opinion for calling and just state so. But I was impressed for when I know, and some of when I don't know, I was impressed of late by a ruling of the Liberia Supreme Court that involved the Speaker of the House of Liberia, Mr. Jonathan Kofa, the current Speaker of the House. So a group of parliamentarians, I think with the acquiescence or the agreement or the wink of the current government of President Boye, they oust, then pull, then fire, then terminate the Speaker of the House of Parliament. Then say they get a majority, then come together, then vote for sack him. And they took action and they did sack him. So fortunately, and I say fortunately because the Speaker, the Liberian government still gets some portion of and with the whole, the balance. And that's the judiciary. The judiciary, so Mr. Jonathan Kofa, the Speaker, went to court and challenged the legality of an ouster. He say the parliament not get the power, nor did they follow procedure. They were completely in violation of law for pull-up from imposition. And therefore, and this I think, by implication, the current president of Liberia, wanted him gone. Because in party with some other people and join forces together for pull-up from imposition. So he go to court. He went to court and challenged the authority for do so. And unlike what we will see in Sierra Leone, or what we have never seen in Sierra Leone, the court reinstate them, say the parliament not get the power to do that, they not get the right, and they not follow procedures. That was an impressive decision in many ways. Number one, it's very refreshing for get a court system because what people don't understand, the three branches of government, as currently they are supposed to be the judiciary, the legislature and the executive. The courts, now they act as the referee because the two in competition, Now usually between the legislature, when a parliament, and the executive, when the presidential own team. So you're getting two teams here. The judiciary is there to observe that everybody comply or play by the rules. And when somebody like just put in your mind like where you play football, the game is better enjoyed or is more enjoyable when you get a referee with the observe for offside, for foul, for handball, or any undue advantage where the rule not allow over the other team. Without which, if you not get a referee, somebody go play handball, he score a goal, he win. Without a referee, somebody go play foul, he score a goal, we gain the advantage, he win. And so on. So the judiciary then rolled that one day. The courts, we always refer to the courts as the judiciary. That now they roll. As fundamental, as basic as that may sound, there are times in some of these countries you begin to wonder if judges know the role they play. Or they don't, if they know that fundamental role they play the role of a referee. And sometimes they play the role of a referee among we the citizens who are not parliamentarians and who are not members of the executive. When we get to disputes, be it civil disputes, or sometimes when we commit crimes. When we commit crimes, The same role, the role of the judge not change, or the judiciary. We have rules to go by. The police investigate the crime where you commit, then make a determination that they get sufficient evidence for prosecute you, then present them to the prosecution office. In Australia, might get Director of Public Prosecution's Office. You might get the ACC, the Anti-Corruption Commissioner, in office. Then the Anti-Corruption Commissioner, there's a second layer, make an assessment, or the Director of Public Prosecution's Office make an assessment as to whether they get a case strong enough for convict you, because there's no point trying you if they don't believe in a conviction. Okay? Then when that assessment is made, they go to court. There are times when the police can think so and get sufficient evidence. Then the prosecutor's office might say, no, I don't think we'll get strong enough case for prevail. It's highly unlikely we will prevail. Rather than wasting taxpayers' money, let we just keep this prosecution. Let we not charge this person. Or let we, even if we don't charge, and let we take a dismissal. That's how you run government. Okay? This is when the person is accused of a crime. It's not a slam dunk that just because the person you're accusing of a crime, because a government accuses him, if he'll be found guilty, or he should be convicted. So not to the judge enroll that one day. And then the other misfortune, what will happen in Sierra Leone, is the fact that we have gotten rid of a jury system and replaced them with a system that has never been tried. It's strange. A jury system that goes as way back as to the Magna Carta. Okay? You talk about a system that is hundreds of years old. Okay? We just decide get rid of them. Something where we learn, where the white man and bring when a part of a heritage, where it serve the community, the country, the people, humanity very well. We, the Bukumandem, we claim say they don't go Harvard, they don't go Yale, they don't go Frabe College, they don't go all the best universities in the world. They not put any testing program in place for see how well, if we want to replace that system, the jury system, how well it serves the people. Then just use pure power and short-sightedness, I might say, and get rid of the jury system, which without a doubt is a very unwise move and very short-sighted. And again, that may be because what I find about Sierra Leonean lawyers, the vast majority of them don't have trial experience, so they don't know, they don't quite grasp the essence. And I can say this categorically because I know what I'm talking about. The vast majority of them don't understand the essence of trial by jury. Even when it existed, I found lawyers waiving the client's right to a jury trial, which constitutionally, maybe not the way it is in Sierra Leone, but that's the way it should have been. Only that client they should be able for waiving right, no one else. So I may be varying, but I have to make comparison and contrast. Okay, so now here in Sierra Leone, where we get a system where judges are finding it very hard, no matter how strongly they feel about the case, for the objective, for demonstrate the intellect, the acumen, the fairness, the sense of fairness. They are finding it almost impossible for demonstrate their ability there, only because every major case, particularly a case like the one I cited about the Liberia situation, where the Speaker of the House was sacked, was fired, was driven out of office by a group of parliamentarians who think they were being smart about using the rules. But the court was able to step in, and the Speaker had the confidence that if the law is followed, he should be able to get his job back. And he went to court. Okay? And there are another implication, because if I open and follow me, because sometimes I like to look references. Consider that to APC 2023, when then Phil said that they've been cheated out of the election. Instead of them grasping for that last straw, no matter how insecure that straw would save them from drowning, then decide for waiver. They say, we're not going to court. We'll not trust the court. Which I hope they've learned a lesson from. Like, I think any lawyer should never, ever waive a fundamental right to go to court, particularly when you say it's irreversible. If you waive that right today, you can't ask for them back. Don't worry about the outcome. Don't worry about the trustworthiness of the system itself. You use what you get or what you have. If the system is untrustworthy, that's the system we have. Use it. Go say, I know of instances where fan belt court pamotuka. You get man in a Salone, we know how to use rope. Forget that fan belt, they lay turn. You take that motocar, you drive and go in a garage. Go say, well, I don't trust this rope. So I don't go put on the, I rather let the motocar sit on a high well. If you're creative, you deal with what's in there at hand. So the Liberian government, the system, we have to give them a lot of credit. We're right next door, and we neighbors them, we for land from them. They are no different from we are. We are the same people. A lot of Liberians are related to Sierra Leoneans, a lot of Sierra Leoneans are related to Liberians, a lot of Sierra Leoneans are related to Guineans, and so on and so forth. So we can't just act as if when we see them people and they do exemplary things that we set good example, we can't just pretend like we not see that. Okay? And let me also advocate. These are some of the things the Bar Association back home and the newly formed Law Society, these are the things then we should be talking about. We should be trying to teach the young lawyers coming up, not to how to correct the system, but how to make a difference in the system. What being a judge is all about. So unless we begin to set example, so like the Speaker of the House, if I had anything to do with anything, I think he should be a commencement speaker at one of our law schools. Invite him and see if he can come talk to her of the significance of the judiciary and why we all for respect him and support him. And the judiciary, then they play such a critical role. They will be put to the test everywhere. Even in America, we're going through that now. We get a president who ain't not seem to give a damn. He knows what he's doing, but he tried the system. And the judiciary is holding firm. But now, so I strongly encourage you now, if I get a different view. This is not a criticism of anybody. This is something we will work for everybody, regardless of who political, because who doesn't want justice? If you're in SLPP, you want justice. If you're in APC, you want justice. But justice is not the work where you don't have power. If for me one thing where you don't have power, forget it be a stated rule. The rule of engagement, regardless of whether you're in or out, justice should be blind. And it's good for we all. Until that day come, we need to start encouraging the young lawyers. And nothing is so disappointing as to bringing in young people into the legal system without setting any bright example for them and for really fully appreciate the nobility of the profession. Why it matters so much to humanity, particularly in a democracy. So I'm saying all these things, please, let me just see what so the Liberian courts tell the parliament, say, one cannot do that and reinstate the speaker. Now, that cannot be done in Sierra Leone, I can categorically say. That cannot be done. The laws are the same, and the same principle of law applying in Liberia we all come from the British common law. Okay? The trouble is, or from the Magna Carta, the trouble is, why not what happened in Australia as a practical matter is because of the structure of a system. So this spins me into another cycle. When we talk about constitutional amendment, constitutional reform, electoral reform, what would they talk about all in there? We need to understand, say, these are not going to work the way, well, I don't even want to say the way we intend them. Because some people, I don't think say they're as ignorant. They can't be that ignorant. Some people just use them words than they, but they don't mean them. They are not good faith actors. They'll put it away there. Because none of them reforms, constitutional reform, any constitutional reform will not entail due process, protection of constitutional rights, freedom of speech. Any reform will not entail that and cement that and train the judiciary will for enforce that. That constitution will never survive. That country's judicial system will never survive. And the reason why we find it so hard to do, here is my analysis, and I would like anyone to feel free. The way we are structured in Australia, in theory, the judiciary is independent. But in practice, or in practical terms, the judiciary doesn't have the independence it needs to function independently. It doesn't have it because of the controller of the purse, meaning the judges, the hand, then at the executive, the mouth. So anytime when you hand in at somebody in mouth, you knocking head, it go bet you. So there is not this, there has to be this detachment of some sort whereby the judiciary is wholly and solely controlled by none of the three major arms of government. You don't want the judiciary to be controlled by the executive. I'll get back to why that is almost impossible. You don't want the judiciary to be controlled by the parliament. You see? So what you do, the reason why you're not able to control the judiciary, or you're not good for let the executive control the judiciary, because executive in a democracy by their very nature, the executive meaning the presidential side or the prime minister side or the head of government side of government of a country, they are always looking for ways where they go get in way. That's the practical reality of the situation. So they go always look for way where they want to enforce certain things where the law may or may not allow them, but if they will take a chance. That's now one of the weaknesses of democracy. So you don't blame the person with the power trying to get away with a lot of stuff. That's just the tendency. And the likelihood that that's anybody who is in that position there, we feel say he can get away with certain things, he could do them. We see and they happen in America too. But the mistake what would they make, would they look at from developed country and underdeveloped country? No. You know, like me, so a developed country, I study law. Oh, and maybe you can say the best in the world. Okay. So if I have anything to do with Sierra Leone, why should I think Sierra Leone should get less of a system? I see Sierra Leone, the judicial system, if I have anything to do with it, to be at the level of that of the United States, if not better. If not better. And I think so because Sierra Leone is a small African country, will system be any less efficient? You know? So this is my situation. So I believe in that. I will take a call, but just so I know we lost my train of thought. But I believe, say, the court system in Sierra Leone not going to do what in Liberia do, because the president or the executive, they control the livelihood of the judges. And there are not too many restraints on the executive for punished judges who rule against them. In the United States, the reason why we own President Naya are not able to get away with a lot of stuff, first of all, the federal judges who are very powerful, they get lifetime appointment. You can't sack them. Elect now, you appoint them. So they get the courage, they don't get for word of say they go lost their job. They know, you see. So is this a good example? If we talk about constitutional amendment back home, is that some of the things we should put into constitution? But we're not able to do that if the people who already started in constitutional committee are not even know any better. Because they put names, big names, whose credentials may be lacking. Just because you go law school, you get a degree, you go Harvard, not necessarily make you qualify for sit on a constitutional committee for come up with ideas. You know? So some of these things we'll begin for challenge. But let me take a call. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where side to call from?
Yeah, I mean a concerned citizen.
All right, sir. How are you?
Call because I just hear what Mr. Mengot is saying.
Not Mr. Mengot, Mr. Shyllon today. No, Mr. Shyllon.
No, Mr. Shyllon, sorry. I'm not saying America idea or South Carolina or whatever.
Yeah.
I know say one
America.
time one caller been called and bought dress with they say in a buyer. First and foremost, England had then colonized Salone. Why you know they mention England, what's in the happen there right now? With the Democrats when they defend. Why you know they mention Canada? Where to they step down? There is no election, you just choose. Is it a democracy? England, where people and they express their view, police they go conquer and do arrest them. Is it a democracy? Did they talk about President Trump? Now I made a non begin arrest the judge where they interfere. Because where I've been saying at one time last year, then are two constitution America they run, because Democrats and get away and believe. They not believe on the actual constitution. Now they interfere. After the election, one of the House representatives say President Trump don't win the election, but the judiciary belongs to them. But over here now the Supreme Court, now in the final. So no federal judge not get power over the president. So all waiting and they try for do so. Now Supreme Court to the head to and see the final. Because the deep state been not overcome, the Supreme Court as well, all the court. Mr. Shyllon, you know, been a talk all this time before President Trump can have power, where they mean they give all the charges here. Then like libel charges they send on a court. I know you say anything about that. I disappoint with you. So in a democracy, in a defense, now one side, in a favor. So now I make a mention England, I mention Canada, before I come back now America. I don't know if you know they follow. Because all the menus belong to them. USAID, even BBC, they sponsor them. So all the media news in the world, USAID been sponsor them. If you want say at a lie, listen the interview with Tucker Carlson and President Putin for confirm that. Where Tucker Carlson asks the question, they make it clear say the America now then they manipulate all the news in the world. So I disappoint with you, Mr. Shyllon. And I mention other country. Salone America not to the same. Compare having judiciary or whatsoever. So please, in a not one-sided. One listener, we respect her. Let they broke democracy the right way. But when they talk so say President Trump not getting way this and that, they not begin arrest them. Because the law go taking cause. Because then they interfere with the actual laws. Then they try for dictate the law, which is not right. Therefore, interpret the law. So please, we are listening, the whole world listening, we respecting her as independent journalists. We get several of them. We're not biased. Where every child they listen every day, all around the world. Another in even they talk about Burkina Faso. Every child in a hit on Africa, now the wrong part. But in another they ever talk about the good part of Africa. What thing they go to Burkina Faso? Why they talk about that? Because I be not say only 3 countries them: Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali. That step where they take, all the African countries together will follow suit. If not, Africa not going to liberate. Because we depend on NGO, we depend on AIDS, we depend on loan. God bless Africa. We don't need them. If we come together, we go supersede any superpower, even America. So please, when they go over them program here, be straightforward, not one-sided. I beg. Let go.
Thank you very much. The caller, unfortunately, the system reminded twice for say they'll exhaust in allotted time, but so the machine go automatically cut you off. Let me take another call. The caller gets a right for say what you get for say, so I have nothing to say in response to that. As a trial lawyer, I was trained in such a way that sometimes in response, you're not wise to respond to your opponent in argument. You better served, your client is better served if you just rest your case. So I rest my case based upon which I represent before. The caller we just call, with all due respect, let the public, I appreciate him calling, I hope he go call also in the future, but let the public decide. So I don't get any response to that. Let me take another call. Hello, caller, which name you side to call from?
Hello, yeah, Mr. Shyllon. Good evening. This is Abdul call from Area.
Mr. Abdul, how are you doing, sir?
Yeah, I just want to give me a submission on this judiciary comparison between waiting Liberia and judiciary doing and that's
Yeah.
Sierra Leone.
Go ahead.
I'd say since the mid-60s, where politics don't begin interfere with judiciary, now it don't continue up to this very dispensation where within a Sierra Leone. You will remember in the 1980s when Shaka Stevens sacked Chief Justice Luke, where he replaced her with Sheikh Mohammed Kutubu. You know, the population raised concern that eyebrow day, nothing will come out of that until a man, another country, when a Botswana, here and say, this is not a good man, we want him, and then go make him Chief Justice na Botswana, and they say, as we pass away. So we don't see that thing, they continue. Like the political parties, they will get this red and this green. They always believe, say, then they're able to manipulate the judiciary whenever any one of them did not power. Now I make the way you argue, say, the Chief Justice the Speaker of Liberian Parliament ain't going to the judiciary for most redress, whereas the APC not going to the judiciary for secret redress because they themselves know how they left the judiciary. I make them not go to the judiciary for go seek redress. Because if they is straightening up the judiciary, let the judiciary be an important and potent organ to checkmate the excesses of the legislature and the executive. They're not from straight for say the one goodie. So you see, but how you make your bed, that's how you go lie on that, as the saying goes. So then all they do, waiting and want when this comes, before the now. In fact, now they are not saying they are attacking the chief justice, but rather they are forcing the chief justice to resign. So then they use their own machinations. That is what is going on now. They are using their own machinations to force the chief justice them for resign. So you see, so you wonder, where is our democracy going? Now, whose organs we will go trust now? We go say this, now the organ we go stand for democracy and go say the truth, no matter who is in power, be it red, be it green, it go say am as it is, because you know say in position where you get na lifetime position. You go only sack am for gross misconduct, and where the constitution spell out that if the person involved in any gross misconduct, you go impeach him, you go sack him. But so that is not the problem where they undergo na the country, because there is too much political interference. Even the police, that is the same thing. If you see the vice president be the head of the police council, why should that be? Are there no other competent people to head the police council? So the both parties, then they meddle with constitutional matters, then they meddle with independence of the judiciary, so much so that they make people don't get trust in the judiciary. That if you want to take a case go there now against government officials, you're afraid say you go lost the case, or then go just procrastinate, say the case just die natural death. So we are heading to the abyss. That is where we are heading. That you don't get the person where go get the moral high ground and say, you know what, let me try for revisit the constitution. Now make the judiciary independent. The attorney general for be separated from the minister of justice. But you go blend all two because you make him a politician, because you know what you want. So you know we just get for advocates as soon as they do. This is not the only thing we go do. We go make it go sink down. If they want, they listen. If they don't want, they don't listen. But as far as we concerned, when some of we don't come to this part of the world with a two-way gun, we want a better judiciary for the country, so that at the end of the day, people will go trust that organ. When they go there, they know say yes. If I lost, I lost. If I win, I know say judiciary it acts dispassionately without any fear of favor. I say I just call them. I go stop so far. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abdul. As always, we appreciate your contribution, your analysis. So always welcome. If you have any more to say, please get in touch with us. Let me take another call. Hello, caller. Which name you inside the call from?
Good evening, Mr. Sheldon. This now concerned citizen calling from the Washington, D.C. area.
Okay, this is Mr. Shyllon.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. I just want to respond to a brother that called earlier, just to have a friendly exchange of ideas.
Okay.
The brother talked about by giving examples of the United States and Britain regarding speech, how people are being arrested and all that stuff. Yes, indeed, he's absolutely right. We have seen since the COVID era, since 2020, we see speech being heavily restricted in the United States. Of course, the United States and Europe or anywhere else in the world, speech is in a different level because the United States is guaranteed in the Constitution. All other places in the law they get. In the United States, literally, it's in the Constitution. I'm guaranteed in the Constitution. Since the COVID era, people have been silenced. And today, we see people are protest the Gaza war, are not only being deported, some of them have been stripped away from their green card. You know, journalists have been fired. Ivy League presidents have been fired. So, yes, he's absolutely right. The nonsense that we're seeing around the world, speech is limited. Speech is for some people. But to take in whole overall point, Donald Trump, I mean, as a morally and ethically bankrupt person, forget the policies. We will never follow someone that bankrupt. Forget his policies, forget his politics. Just in character, he's very, very bankrupt. But he's right in the sense that it is time for Africa to start looking for our own interest. And what is this interest for Sierra Leone? This so-called democracy we don't try for the last 64 years has not worked. Has not worked because we get bad players around. The institutions are all weak. You know, too much power is concentrated in Freetown to the president. Some of us will argue maybe it's time to look all over. Is this again? Is the democracy the right path for Salone? Do we need a different form of democracy that will benefit our land and our people? Look at our resources that does not benefit anyone in Salone but benefit outsiders. Our economy that is monopolized by Indian and Lebanese. When it comes to the to law or rule of law, you put court in a case, never decide. It goes forever and ever. Delay it. So nonsense all around, and none of this will ever work until Salone in Africa address one point, and that point is to fund yourself. As long as somebody else they fund you, you need to do nothing. Look at the country today, from civil society to government, to the press, to every aspect in our country is funded by outsiders. And we expect for our country to go before? No. It is funded by outsiders, now outsiders' interest, not to the people in interest, not to the country interest. So the nonsense of it all, that make me, I not care for the politics in that Salone. I not care for anyone way to run for president in that Salone until you go prove to me how you go fund the government and they ever take you serious. Because every other stupidness where you get so in your manifesto, somebody else has to fund it for you. How is that sustainable? Look at light. How many years? Because we know you will fund them for yourself. Not for the MC, whatever fund will wait for build electric plants. I mean, if we get serious leadership, not to engage the diaspora with the diaspora fund can raise that money in 1 year, a money that has been promised for 5 years if we get them. That kind of money, the diaspora, the Yobo raise that in 1 year. We see what's in the Gona Yenga. We can even defend our own territory. Basic one. And we have a president that calls himself a brigadier general. If he cannot even protect his own circle, where we have a drug pimp in his own circle, they cannot vet. How can these people defend our country and territory? It's all just nonsense, my man. It's all just nonsense, including the opposition party. Today, then they can talk about election instead of talking about bread and butter issues like the price of rice, inflations. Can see the suffering in Salone. When letting people are left with I'm sorry, Mr. Sheldon. I apologize if my tone is whatever. But I thank you, and thank you for your work that you do for us.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, in order not to keep too many people on hold, I will try to take some more calls. Hello, caller. What's your name? Who's side you call from?
Yes, Mr. Shyllon. Thank you again. This is Fodi Mustafa.
Hello, Mr. Mustafa. Nice to hear from you.
Yes. I don't know. Who say you the other two young man and don't go?
Age don't catch up with them, so they get too old too quick. But then go come back next week.
I don't feel that stomach full of man is sick by now. Anyway, the first year I just want to react to Mr. Kagbo one in broadcast them we make today 2 weeks ago where you not come on last week. If they talk about
Go ahead.
the tripartite where they don't include smaller party them. I don't talk again before, but I go talk again. 13 of them political party we talk about. We don't sell to the president already. Them, according to them, elections were free and fair. Even when they bring the tripartite, when they bring the APR, they say, well, then MPs in waiting now. MPs in waiting. So they don't get any objection. So then party then they do made an only and no side when they talk about national interest. Then come back to the whole one meeting where the chairman where we don't die. So say, well, if you turn back to woman, if we go to one back rest now, at least we don't support the president. So not one kind of party then do they talk tell me about they exclude them. They should be excluded and banned. Because they no can enter for make them put anything better on the table. Now for them pockets and candy. So we go try for the mind on the back. I don't say when I talk about the general interest, when they talk about party them, why exclude them. But then one and then as Salone, with the exception of Femi and Charles Magai in party, with the C4C, where the government try for ban, where government ban a party. No other party know the way they talk in the interest of national interest. They are for themselves and them. So if the APC and the way they object, like who the whole world objects, see the election, they're not credible. They get every right for good day for defend that. Not to them party they don't compromise. Because if they go there, they will just go to the water. And the second thing I want to talk about, this might better imposed. This might you see a problem as alone. Sometimes they react emotionally. We forget about the main thing, we use emotions them. What might better talk, maybe because Indian State House, it will be in a problem. Now the reality now talk. Most of the southeastern names, then just the cheer clap, everything is okay. The one they oppose are not a names, mostly. What is not true? When a Salone, when you talk about tribalism, always they say it cause problem. But it's happening. It's not to say like me, if I get not a name, are they object, are they opposed, that means say tribalism, but not the issue. But now we only able object. The Southeasterners for them is everything is okay. Because now the party, as long as we not address the fundamental problem of governance, how in a country we say they talk different languages, you just go make election where it will end up being ethnical or tribal. It's going to continue this problem. And not true what Mike Beroa talk. But now we no look at no more see because we will try to address the issue where they make sure that the Northerners don't want to feel aggrieved. Where the other people is comfortable. Now because the one day when they go for election, then they can present a political party, say this party now idea. Now we own party, we don't vote for them. So the people, no matter their poverty, their hunger, they will still vote for that party. Now the issue that no for address. Then think they have to me now just a part of the problem. And Mike Peralty talk is on point. Anyway, I left the line because I already boss that. Thank you very much, Mr. Shyllon.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mustafa. We appreciate your contribution. We go. Please call again if you get more for say. Let me take another call. Hello, caller. Which name you say to call from? Hello, caller.
Hello?
Hello. Yes, caller.
Yes.
Which name you say to call from?
Yes, sir. Mr. Shyllon. I'm
Yes, sir.
that call from Maryland.
Yeah, Mr. Alusan. Welcome.
Hello? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, I just listen to you contribute. I want to contribute to your program because with you with the talk, very educative, especially the field where they like to listen to you, the talk where you come by the judiciary, they like to listen to Mr. Kagbo, where you come by the finances or the economy, because very educative.
Thank you. Thank you.
Then I realize una they talk the truth again for them program because una already this out of patriotism for let the country change. Because I don't think because I like the programs if I want to introduce to myself. Mr. Kagbo when you say what I in living in economist. I don't just say no care for any position of that country, the same thing to yourself. So what you to talk about the judiciary today? The unfortunate way, they happen in Liberia, but they happen in Salone. Because what you make it after the war done, what you think about takeover? Because you can't time they out. I want to exclude that one day. The first test where they don't test the democracy after the war. Now during the former president and Nkrumah, we fire a vice president. They'll be unconstitutional. It's the unfortunate way the judiciary will be step up to the plate. When they come, the ECOWAS court decides say now unconstitutional, let they reinstate them back or let them compensate them, whatever they can to. It'll be unfortunate way the first step that the judiciary fail. And I believe in it happen we reflect even this past election, this 2023 election, because they're not be trust the judiciary anymore based on that. But the other shock we get again, next one, this Palo content business where it be free during this 2018, when they say because status, they be suspect say go to the government. I'd be shocked because for Africa country, for instance, some of this government laws felony, treason case, easy. At the first anyway, because I know say back in those days, they make another talk about shaking this because if they call in and it's over. Past God and Saranomo, but it'll be possible. So I believe the APC after that Paulo Conte, they will take the shot and test the judiciary once more. Say they don't feed this money up at easy. Now it's because the internal committee will watch. Especially like Samura Kamara, we the Mao don't benefit from after the war, and the Mao don't benefit past all Salone, I believe, because they don't. It's under Madabio, we can come. We not be brigadier. It's about the Jankaba. He served 2 terms under Nkrumah till 2018 passed with Mpula. And I will test the system because I be part of the system. So now, unfortunately, they come where they create problem right now. They create Mr. Kabobe analyze them, where it even appeal to the police, where they don't take and seriously. But now one president in a country, then a Trump lost election at this country here. I don't think say one day declare himself as president. So after any independent they forgive speech after the president don't give. So like the watching stuff, now we don't enjoy that country. If they don't lose, now the youth they come up in party, they want to change the party, they want to change shaking. I see Timbo they all come, the young man there. So they go change the party mindset. So now we just get to go no more. How the country they go so small. Now pray to God, let that no come guy. They talk about Yenga, all that. Now pray to God. Let nobody all man keep a steady head. So they solve the problem because for colonial time now it don't begin. Not to see no more. White man and then settle for this British and French and they settle for all this one. So if I reach here, I'll call back if I get anything, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, sir. I greatly appreciate that. Okay.
No problem.
I may be able to take one more call before I get back to my comments. Okay, let me just continue because we don't get a few callers then. And make me just touch on a few things where we hear some of the callers then. Say, let's start with Mr. Fode Mustafa with respect to Mr. Mike Berwa in comments. You see, I don't think from a legal standpoint, if we're in a courtroom, I don't think a sufficient case has been made to accuse Mike Berwa of being tribalistic. I don't think I will question the sufficiency of that accusation. But what I can categorically say is Mr. Mike Berwa is ill-informed, grossly ill-informed, as I would like to say, only in the sense that, in my understanding of Sierra Leone, and again, callers, feel free to call and take issues with me, there are predominant names in certain areas of the country, no question about that. Okay? I'm sure in the Western area, you might find more Williams and Johnsons and Jones, maybe aggregate-wise, or maybe even in many ways, then you go find Kamara, Kagbo, Conche, and everything. Okay, I agree, say in the north, you might find more Conche, Kuruma, Dumbuya, Bangura, more Conche and Kuruma, Bangura in the north than you will find in the south. But likewise, in the south, you go find more Boima, Boake, Moewo than you will find in the western area. And in the eastern province, likewise, you go find more Gbanya, Bonge, Kutubu, Jajua, than you probably might find a Sa or a Kumba, and those names that are mostly Kizi and Kononins. The point I'm trying to make here, we've long passed the point. We know this team follow the trend and the development of events in our country. We're long past the point where you can categorize people and based on the name. It doesn't exist anymore. Because first and foremost, there are Minde Kamaras. But the origin not to Minde, the origin of Madingo, it all depends on how people came across the border, how they settled, and where they came from. If you come from Guinea, your last name will be Kamara. You people them or your forefathers them come through into Sierra Leone, through the eastern province, and then they settle along those corridors, Pujon district, Kailon district. There's more likely than not, then go married woman, Minde woman. The dominant language for them, Madingo people, they don't picking them go be a Minde. They will adopt the Minde culture, even though in reality they are not Mindes, they are Kamara. The same applies to many other names, and the same northern people. If you come from Guinea, from the Konadugu side, you know, people will regard you that way. But there are Sisses. Their root may not be that of the Minde. You have Sisses in the south. You have Sisses in the east. You have Sisses in the north. And what you would fail to realize, there are names that are common to certain tribes. Bangura, Dumbuya, Kuruma, Kamara, Sise, Chimini Mangetam, Madingo Mangetam, Soso Mangetam, Limba Mangetam, and other tribes. So how are we able to tell just by someone's name? And there are Kaikais, there are Banguras who are from the western area. Have we forgotten with history that the original tribes in Australia where one of them was the Limbas, the other ones were the locals. Okay? The local people. So we need to understand we own sociology to start with. So I am taking the position that Mr. Beroa make an unfortunate but ill-informed observation. I mean, he can refer to people in my region and they say Northerners, Westerners, even though he may be wrong still. But I think we need to get away from this mentality, because this is a mentality. You know, I should not be looking at Mr. Beroa and say, he named a Southern name. Okay, Mr. Beroa resides in, give you a good example, he resides in Freetown right now. I guarantee you a lot of them picking them, they go to school in Freetown. That it is highly likely that if he continue in residency in the Western area and continue to have children, in picking and likely will marry somebody from the Western area. Is he telling me if that Beroa family they in the Western area for 5 or 6 or 7 generations, they should still be referred to as Southerner or people with Southern names? You see, we should be smarter than that. We should be more mature than that. We should be more informed than that. Okay? So I know somebody would be blamed to be a Kono when named Nadumbuya. Are we going to question him that he not a Kono man? If he say that's his name? What about the name Koroma? When a Kono person, have we forgotten the family name of the former President Kuruma's in wife? Na Kuruma. And as Kuruma, who is from the north, in wife we married the maiden name, na Kuruma, when a Kono. So the names don't mean anything. So we'll try to shy away. You might even get a Macaulay when I'm in there. So fellows, just be a little smarter than that. And be more informed than that. And just shy away from all this so-called narrow way of thinking and start thinking that somebody with the name Kuruma should say this and that and nothing. It's not so. There are indigenous Kurumas. Sierra Leone don't reach a point where an indigenous Kuruma or Bankura or Conte can be somebody from Kenema district, somebody from Kailaun district. I mean, so let's just shy away from that. I mean, observation and so I slightly disagree with Mr. Fode Mustafa, as much as I still think there was something unfortunate about Mr. Beroa in statement. I think he could have made it in a much better way without the implication of being tribalistic or tribal. That's my comment. And so I welcome opposing views, and we can discuss that intelligently. But this is my own take on the Mac or Mike. I believe it's pronounced Mike. I think he's just being fancy with the name, but Mike, and admiring creativity. So now, we don't talk about the Liberia situation. We don't talk about the judiciary of Sierra Leone, and we know say, and somebody call and even complain about electricity and all this kind of thing. But what you mean to talk? So even somebody even talk about bad faith actors in the country, because I'm not so sure if people are not aware. Because when people come up with them grand collective statements here, constitutional review, then phrases them there, electoral review. Okay? Someone just sent a comment. I don't think you can say even when the APC were in power, everything was okay in the north. No, I don't think so either. I think these politicians, they misuse them people, just like the current politicians they misuse people in the South. I mean, unless someone can convince me that people in the South, their standard of living, people in the East, their standard of living much higher than the rest of the country, which I don't believe. So, of course, I agree with that statement. When APC was in power, the life of the people in the North was no better. Now we try to inject that idea into people, and wrongly, I don't say falsely, wrongly into the minds of people, you know. But the APC and the SFPP, they have not been as helpful, which I'm glad they didn't even attempt to practice, because it will be even more dangerous. Say if you get a SFPP party, then decide for raise the standard of living of people, then where then consider say live now SFPP stronghold, like the Southern Province and the Eastern Province. Then if APC kind of power, that would be far more dangerous than what we have now. But I will argue, and I know it's a fact, that the lives of the people in the North under APC did not appreciate in any way, shape, or form than people in the rest of the country. That I can argue. And I think that's been the pattern of them two parties here. They just use people pretentiously, but they are not contributing much. Now, let me read another comment. Somebody say, I appreciate you, Mr. Shyllon. You are very much subjective and rational. I think you mean objective, but I will take it. Anyway, I'm trying not to be subjective. I'm trying to be as objective as I may. Okay? I agree with you that the gentleman's opinion is his own view. I applaud you for how you handled it. Hey, yes, he's entitled to his views, as much, and no matter how much I disagree with it. So that's what this program is all about. We're willing to listen to everybody's view. The only precondition is mutual respect for callers and for the host and to the callers. Otherwise, we're good. Reasonable men may differ. We all can't see things alike, but we can try for debate them without fear. Okay, another commentary is you present fact and lay bare the fact to all the sundry. Unlike other presenters, they want to coerce views to accommodate their own narrative, which doesn't necessarily apply. Well, I try. I'm just trying to appeal to the better judgment of all of us. Because at the end of the day, we may sound like a doctor treating a particular disease. All doctors don't have the same treatment for the same illness. Some doctors you might go to and they may look at your condition, maybe the severity of it, maybe the acuteness of it, and they might say, penicillin is not going to do it. You need a more drastic treatment than just giving you penicillin. Maybe in America we say quinine, but back home we say quinine. You might need a quinine medication. Or you might need this, you might need that. So the same applies here. So what we try to do is just try to come up to get the best of our opinion and hope that we can get some sensible suggestions and solutions. But what bothers me here is the fact that we still not take things seriously as we should. And then I'm a disappointment. Like I say, I'm disappointed that young lawyers are not being trained in the way, particularly for courtroom participation, in the sense that you have to fervently represent a person in court. I don't like the idea of just taking the right of defendants slightly. I don't like the idea that I say the termination of the jury system is a colossal mistake, because it's being replaced by a system that has never been tried, which makes no sense. You put aside a system that has worked, not only been tried, but has worked so well for us for hundreds of years. I mean, the system itself, from England to the United States, to Australia, to Canada, everything. and then counting our own term of colonialism to now. That system has served all this country very well. And some politicians that came along for short-sighted reasons. And they didn't even try a pilot program where substitute, where for say, okay, let's try the system and see if we get rid of the jury system. Maybe the system will work. They don't do that. They just replace them. Without even ever trying the system, how efficient it is. And this is the disservice we do to posterity. Instead of we try for left a better world for picking them or grand picking them. This is what we're doing. We think we are only concerned about ourselves now, today. We can mess up the system. No, I mean, it's just like you live in a house. You say, well, hey, the room where they sleep, the leak, who cares? If me picking a room the leak, who cares if me guest in the room the leak? But at one time, at some point, the leakage will expand to who say you to sleep. So you should be concerned. I do not understand how would people continue. The APC government do that under Ernest Kuruma. The BO government is doing the same thing. They're not committed sincerely to creating a better system. They double down on trying for make sure say the system is unworkable. That way, everything becomes stagnated. That way, everything becomes corrupt. And this is the world we want to live for posterity, for picking them. Well, I'm just saying this, I think it's a bad principle. It's bad policy. You see? And we're not the land. People, I see where the APC, they criticize the SAPP as things are going today. But let's remember one thing. The laws, I've said it over and over on this show, the laws that President Boye has used to his advantage, now laws their way, pass mostly, not to order in regime, then pass them. Now, because in predecessors, then see some advantage, where they think say was going to be beneficial to them alone, and then it backfires, and they don't end up that way. And then we start crying, wolf, wolf, wolf. And we're not the land. We're just not the land a lesson. Okay? Somebody, one of the callers then called, which I greatly appreciate, that, Mr. Samura, the leader of the opposition, has worked for all kinds of governments, so many successive governments, over the years. And then now, all of a sudden, he wants to be president. He wants to be president. And Creole man say, if we bench raw, full blind, not to the think with the bench don't dry, it go full blind. If we okpolo young, get waste, not to way old, it go get waste. So I'm just saying this. So this same caller, they talk about young leaders. Where is the potential of young leaders? Just being oppositional, not to. No, look, the guy in Burkina Faso, I think he's only 32 or 34. So which young leaders in Sierra Leone would not see them potential depend? If you no matter the age, you go articulate your feelings, you go drive the passion of the people, then the leadership capability will come out. So I'm not impressed because some of the young leaders that we don't see in Sierra Leone, they are a disappointment. They are a disappointment. So that disheartens me because I wish we had young leaders who really by now would articulate the future, the vision of Sierra Leone and the people, and we roll na the wall, we overplay. So when we talk about young, so if we talk about young leadership just for oppose the older guys in the party, that's not enough. A young leader for start articulating a vision. What he see for the future of the country and why he believes that's what the answer is. That's what the potential of a leader will imply. So, but people are all gravitating to the power base, so it will just be a repeat. So it will be business as usual. So somebody call and talk about democracy. Well, democracy comes in all forms. There is no one size fits all for democracy. No. I mean, I will get for tailored democracy for suit. I will get for make a custom or custom made. So for suit we own current and circumstances. So democracy is just the overall concept. And again, somebody says democracy may not be the best form of or system of government, but name me one that you know that is better. Even in dictatorships, you do have progressive dictators. I don't recommend dictatorship. I think it's bad. I'm a great believer in democracy, but I believe democracy for the custom made for suit circumstance. Okay, not for implementing how we learn in a book. Or for look at where environmentally close. You go buy the material, and I will say, well, Mr. Jallo, that suit they look fine on, and just sew them for me that way. Same size. No, it doesn't work like that. For the last suit, they look good per me, like Mr. Jallo, wouldn't sew them for. Then get for take me size and cut me coat, and then cut the measurement them for fit me, so I will look good. That's what democracy is all about. And democracy for spread to the poorest of the poor. We take people and you lock them up in a Pademba Road. They're entitled to democracy. Forget the legal terms, them due process and all these things. Just they should not be kept there indefinitely. They should not be kept there like wild animals. They should be treated humanely. Democracy calls for that. If you commit a crime, we will land you in a prison where you not get the money for hire a lawyer. The system should be committed to get you a defense lawyer, not to any kind of lawyer, but lawyer capable of vindicating or argue for your vindication or for your freedom. You see? So, but we just play with all them words, then the parliamentarians are not taken serious, and the media, they try their best. But I think there has to be a commitment to their issues there. Otherwise, we just spin we will, because we will, like when you talk about will, motoka will, not to W-I-L-L, W-H-E-E-L. So that will they. They one place, within a portfolio, the will they turn, but we're not going inside. Because we know they approach this thing seriously. You cannot talk about constitutional issues, constitutional reform, and not talk about strengthening the independence of the judiciary, of the power of judges, and how them for maintain their independence. Of course, it goes both ways. So we'll give judges all that power. They appoint them to life, then and get the freedom for be corrupt. No. Or then don't forget the freedom of just avoiding, just ruling as they want. No. But that's the challenge for we, the one that will say we don't learn book. And the challenge that one day. Not if we just put coat and tie, go in the office, see a condition to blow you. Now for think hard and come up with solutions that are workable. Okay? So somebody mentioned electricity. Yeah, everybody should wonder. Again, I get great faith in Sierra Leoneans and we intellect. Will it get electrical problem? Because we're not committed. We know the solution. We know. Corruption is the reason why we're not able to overcome that. I mean, electricity, not to any new technology, don't day from time. But we still get difficulty for make most, if not every household, get continuous electricity or regular electricity. You know? And then we keep forming committees upon committees. We keep making branches. You know, the power company won't be simply electricity corporation. They'll become like 4 distinct subsidiaries. You know, transportation. They don't break into this, to that. Won't be just road transport corporation. And this is some of the problems. There's all this, not because of efficiency, not in the name of efficiency. All of this are being done to accommodate and do political patronage. That's all it is. At the expense of the very people who want to make do. Because even if you're a minister, from time to time, I'm sure you get blackout. So how does that help you? Is it not your duty for travel make sure, say, that not happen to you? And that not happen to other people then? So these are some of the things I am talking about. And again, people have the right to agree or disagree. Let me bring up the issue of, there are 2 issues I want to deal with before I run out of time. Hopefully, I probably will be able to get them in. Issue number 1 is the Yenga issue. And people, I'm sure we will not touch on this issue before, but we'll talk about that again. This is not just a small area in the Eastern Province. To my understanding, when the war began, to keep rebels them away from that area of Sierra Leone, the Guineans gave us a lending hand. They helped for send troops, which is not unusual. Nigeria sent troops, you know, and ECOMOG sent troops. So we see the so Guinea sent troops them for kind of help we, for keep rebels them out of that Yenga area there. That's my understanding. Somebody who get a different view can call and disagree or dispute what I'm saying. I think this all began under President Kabah. Okay, now the war is over. The Guinean troops, and they said the demarcation of the line is very clear. There's no argument about where Yenga belongs. Now, it's Sierra Leonean territory. There's no argument about that to those who know what the facts are and the line of demarcations. So now the Guineans come, they were invited guests and they refused to leave. Just imagine if you lodge in your house as a stranger, what can reach for go say I need to go near you, will share this host for now on. In fact, if you know what, I will take the host from you. That's what it appears the Guineans are doing. Again, what's happening to the lawyers then? What happening to the Attorney General's office? Why aren't they bringing this to international adjudication? Forget this matter resolved once and for all. And in the end, this is what is so cruel. It's the people living there who are suffering because they're being taken advantage of and undue advantage of by foreign troops, and we government, succeeding governments, not only this government, you know, succeeding governments have just taken it easy. And what good is this ECOWAS if they cannot resolve such I consider it a minor dispute between Sierra Leone and Guinea? This is where you have bullying taking place. Sierra Leone is being bullied. And I don't think this is a thing where it should be a thing involving a force between Sierra Leonean army and the Guinean army. No. It shouldn't even enough for degenerate to that at all. There are international treaties that we need for use. There are courts available for settling dispute in there. And if ECOWAS cannot resolve that dispute there, then what use are they? They are useless. And if we government them one after the other, not see any significance in protecting that part there of the country, aren't we laying a precedent for any other strongman Guinean government for just come and take another part of the country? You know? So this is not a matter of, oh, we can fight Guinean. Lives don't need to be lost in that area there because of that. That's why we're getting Bookman there. What do you mean? What's the point in having all them Dr. this, Dr. that in our government? These guys claim they're going to the best universities. They study everything under the sun. Well, this is time for show themselves. We want to show we want skills. Show we how much you now understand the world. Okay? And so these are some of the things then we would let government then get away with, but they are not, it's so unfair to the people and poor people, you know? And again, one of the major tribes in that area, the Nadikisi people. Well, this is another unfortunate part of it. It could very well be that the governments they not too care because now the Guinea and the Kisi people are mostly affected. Then a minority tribe in Sierra Leone, maybe they not get the political clout and the political votes for influence the outcome of elections. So there have been a calculation, deliberate calculation, that is not worth the effort. If push comes and shove, Guinea can take afterwards. There is no tribe that way not mean much to it. But I think it's unfortunate if that's the calculus. If not the political calculus, then I think it's wrong. You know, it shouldn't matter. You know, of course, anybody will know anything about Sierra Leone. The Kisis only you can find them only in Kailon district in Biodo area, close to the Sierra Leone, Liberia, Guinea border at the east, and this Yenga, what would they talk about? You know? But I think we for sure more humanity, more interest in solving problems and looking for the least among us. So I just bring out the Yenga business because I don't think it's even a popular thing in the country. People don't even see, some people have never heard of the place. I know one day hear about them. Sorry, I mixed the English and the Creole. But some people don't want to hear about Yenga. Some people may never hear about Yenga. But let we urge the government them. Then we urge them Bukuman here. The doctor, this doctor, that, when I show when I say, let us see this book on a land, what you can accomplish. We don't accomplish anything. We don't bring anything to the table. Man, you guys are a disappointment. PhD, masters. At the end of it all, nothing on the table that would they bring to the table. You know? Once upon a time, it used to be, oh, you can write good English. Now we don't dismantle this fantasy that if you can write good English, you learn book. You can write the perfect English and be just as empty-headed as anything else. So let us agree on that. The Chinese man knows how to write English. The Russian know to write English. The Japanese know to write English. You know, but they are very advanced people. So all this rubbish about English. Now the thought process now we lack, and the courage, and that's what we should be talking about. Okay, so last but not least, on the topics that I want to talk about today is a development will come up concerning an active minister, Dr. Denis Sandy, I heard, who presented false document or a false judgment of divorce and claims it was handed down by a court, and then the judiciary paper say it's not true. No such case existed in the court. Everything was fake, and I think it appears that Dr. Sandy they try to forget a divorce from a wife. But I noticed some observations. Again, I would like to ask the lawyer then back home. Because since when we learn something, we're not trying to be a little creative or modify or anything. I see say there on the caption of the case, and this is supposed to be a divorce action. I wish the control room can post the legal document. Is kind of blurry, but one might be able to figure out what in the document look like. And this thing has not been, because the government of department put them out, and then they put the thing on it, fake document. This is not to foresee now media do that. Okay, if you look closely at the plaintiff, when they refer to as petitioner, again, so sometimes them vocabulary here, they can be accurate and they can be used depending on the jurisdiction, meaning the country, for instance. Now, let's assume a divorce action in Sierra Leone, the movant or the person who go in a court for divorce, he or she will be called a petitioner. That person also can rightly be referred to as a plaintiff. So maybe the method of practice in Sierra Leone are the petitioner. So Dr. Sandy, looking at this document here, is the plaintiff or the petitioner, which he addressed at the top. And now, if you look closely at it, it looks like it's saying, and then you get two respondents, where even if in a civil matter, you can have a defendant in a civil matter. If I sue you, you defend. When you defend, you are a defendant, but you can also be a respondent. So it's correct. I don't question that part. But what you now seem to understand, in a divorce matter, it looks like they get two defendants. Unless Sierra Leone has reached a point where a person can divorce two persons at the same time, I do not understand why they get the word co-defendant. Because normally, not co-defendant, co-respondents. Okay? What would be the same as co-defendants? So them is normal yourself. Now they observe now this legal action. So you also can probably tell why this is considered a fake thing. Maybe that's not even the way it's supposed to. It's being done in Sierra Leone, let alone supposed to be done. Okay. So, but this document, as we're seeing on the screen, allegedly is saying Dr. Sandy don't get issue in web. Mary, I think is because it's kind of blurry. Kai Sandy for a divorce. I was able to obtain a divorce, which I don't understand. Wouldn't the co-defendant will happen for be a preacher? The whole thing is just upside down. So I know it's hard to make sense of this legal document, but it actually was presented supposedly by the Mr. Sandy or Dr. Sandy. And let me say this also. If I say Mr. Sandy, I don't mean any disrespect, but I just want it to be understood that any doctor is either a Mr. or a Miss or a Mrs. So both names or pronouns or whatever you want to call it are, or I'll call it, are appropriate. So if I call it Dr. Sandy, then I call you Mr. Sandy. Dr. Sandy is a Mr. Mr. Sandy happens to be, have a PhD, so he can be referred to. But I don't think it's a rule of thumb that you must call someone with a PhD a doctor. I think it's optional. You may not. It's just like me insisting that you have to call me lawyer. Oh, I have a doctorate degree that you have to call me. I'm content with Mr. Shyllon. Nothing wrong with that. That doesn't take anything away from me. You know? Oh, you don't have to call me lawyer Shyllon. It's obvious I'm a lawyer. So what difference does it make? It's like you insisting that someone for call you the man. Well, if you look like a man, you act like a man, you talk like a man, you sound like a man. Why do you insist that before you get for call me man? Me man. No. So there are many things we just make big where we're not supposed to. If you get it, you got it. If you don't, you don't. But the point I want to make about this Dr. Sandy situation, it does reach a point where a minister go fake a legal document and doesn't even have the level of intelligence for understand that if this is out of him field, certain things we put Naya will give him away. Okay? Plus the fact that they are saying the divorce never took place. The minister presented false evidence. If so, why is he still holding a ministerial position? Isn't the appropriate action is to at least suspend him? You can suspend and would pay. But when a top official engages in such egregious action, I'm afraid it doesn't speak too well of the country, it doesn't speak too well of the government to let him just sit there and no action taken. You know? And in addition, if it is true that he falsified this legal document, it's a crime. It's a serious crime. You know? It's a crime of forgery, at the very least. You know? That fraud. So, are we where people with impunity, as Mr. Jamboria would say, will just do anything regardless of the law, and there is no price to be paid, no consequences? So I wanted to bring that up. And if anybody, including Dr. Sandy himself, is welcome to the show. I've always said, if things are being said that are untrue or partly true and partly untrue, please help us out to clarify the doubt. Okay? So Dr. Sandy is welcome to this show. But it doesn't tell well when a minister engaged in such egregious behavior and nothing is said, he keeps his job, he's not suspended. But if a poor person commits anything like this, then go lock him up on a Panemba Road, probably for the rest of your life, because it looked like Panemba Road and then throw away the key, then forget about your existence. You know? So this is not right. You know, this is not the way you run a country. We're not a land book, we're not to get a PhD, we're not to become lawyers, because we want to belong to a privileged class, a class that is above accountability. Because you look for something, so now that make me one land book now. I want to be lawyer, I want to be doctor, I want to be engineer, I want to be professor, I want to be this. Because I want, when I commit crime, nobody can hold me accountable because I don't rise above all of that. If not the purpose landed for education, I think we're heading in the wrong direction. You see, we have to be very careful about all of that. You know? And so I am just simply saying we must try our best for all the government accountable. You know? And sometimes when these issues are not addressed, unfortunately, The logical conclusion of this is that, there are two logical conclusions. Number one, the law is not meant for people like lawyers, Dr. Sandy. He can do what he pleases. And I think number two, he obviously don't rise above that mark. It's like the old colonial or days in England with respect to the monarchy. The king or the queen can do no wrong. So it's like if you've attained a PhD and you find yourself in government, you can do no wrong, regardless. Okay? So hurry up, go to Frabe College, come abroad, or go get your master's degree, become a lawyer or something, and then start committing crimes because you've passed all the stages whereby you may be accused of any wrongdoing. It sounds like that's the operation we're seeing now. So I'm just simply touching on these things because these are societal or society's issue. Now, societal issues, then where? We observe them. If we love our country, if we try to improve them and make it a better place for picking them and grand picking them, not if we can pull what we meet. Because that's the trend. What we meet, we not even left them, I will meet them. We pull them. So we doesn't left worse and worse things for the unborn generation. It's one thing if we left our meeting. If we don't develop, at least let left our meeting, but we don't even do that. What we're doing now, we just destroy what we left. The rules, infrastructure, you name it. We just believe, we for destroy them. Now, I cannot think of a greater act of selfishness as that. So, with that said, I think I will try my best for close on that note and hope that maybe by what is being discussed here today, certain people will have the courage to call us next week or for one reason or another may disagree with what we will say, regardless what the motivation factor. Call us if you disagree or if you had something in mind we didn't get to you, we didn't take your call, and you have something, to say or to suggest, give us a call. Okay? Until then, it's been a wonderful pleasure talking to you as usual. Please stay tuned next week, Sunday, same time, and until then, good night. Okay, we are even displaying on our show as we go out the various diaspora scholarship program. That's wonderful. I see the president with a young man. I cannot be prouder. This is good. We network to make it show, and the president, the highlighter, I think is very worthy of the president for highlighting it. So thank you very much, Mr. President, and thank you very much, the president of VOS, or the management of VOS. I wish we can see more and more and more of that. So good night, everybody.
In the heart of Sierra Leone, where dreams often struggle to find wings, one young man dared to hope. This is John Sitta. Born into a humble family where even putting food on the table was a daily challenge, education seemed like a distant dream.
Good afternoon and welcome to Voice of Salone Radio.
Good afternoon to the listeners.
Yeah, so what's your name?
My name is Ibrahim, sir. Ibrahim Pedal.
Ibrahim Pedal, what is
Kamara.
Kamara. You understand say born in Pico come first in the whole country?
Yes, I'm a Pekin. Okay. Actually, they talk to you now, so we born in Pekin. Now, attire the cell. I empty attire the cell. I no gets. And launch na 10,000 a year every day. At times we meet up at the biggest one and when we eat, they can get 10,000. Not all the time. It is strain. At the constraint, at the up to 14 years work no day.
John had a fire in his heart and brilliance in his mind, but brilliance without opportunity often fades into silence. His parents believed in him, but with an annual family income of less than $1,000, they couldn't afford to keep John in school. Then came the VOS Diaspora Helping Hands Scholarship Program, a beacon of hope for underprivileged, talented students like John.
Take the first position during my WAS examination.
And what are the mechanisms have you put in place for you to become first again for WAS?
I should be studying very hard and hardworking in class.
So what do you want to tell others that are unfortunate to come first in the Becker process?
Okay, my advice to my colleague students is that success do not come overnight. They have to study and get prepared for any task overhead.
All right, thank you very much. This is VOS, Voice of Salone Radio.
Today, John is not just a student. He's a leader, a mentor, and a beacon of hope for his community. With your support, VOS Diaspora Helping Hands empowers students like John from humble beginnings to reach for the stars. Together we can transform more lives. Together we can change the story. Join us today. Sponsor a dream. Shape the future. Scan the QR code to donate or visit our website at www.vosdiaspora.org.